Welcome to Lubrication Across the Nation, presenting you with unique stories and conversations from across the country. We're always discussing things like working the trades, sciences, and of course, art. But there's a lot more involved as well. So make sure to listen in. And it's all brought to you by Dynamic Green Products, DGP, bio-based, zero compromise.
All right, so we're back in the booth here at the DGP booth here at the Paul Bunyan Show. So we're here with John today talking about kind of a little bit of everything, but specifically you'd come into the booth here, the DGP booth, and we're offering you a sample, but then you've mentioned that you purchased from us before. You purchased by the case, and obviously if you're purchasing in bulk, it means you must like the product. But before we get into that though, on the product side of it, the show itself, you've been here multiple times. What brings you back to the Paul Bunyan Show?
So this is as we talked about, I have a firewood business, and I've been running that for the last couple of years, and then I actually have a YouTube channel of my own, Beaver Outdoors. Shame. And I learned about this show actually through other YouTube creators, and that I never knew anything about it. Right? I grew up in Michigan and didn't spend much time in Ohio, and didn't know much about it, and just I heard about it and came one year, and we've been coming back every year ever since.
Nice.
And it's a phenomenal show. You get to meet all kinds of different people you never thought you'd meet. I mean, I've followed Buck and Billy Ray since back when he was on X-Men, and this is the second time I met him. In fact, actually, I got an opportunity to do his filing clinic with him, and
nice.
It was phenomenal.
How was that?
That was phenomenal. I dabble with the hand filing thing, but I'm one of those Dremel guys, or I've got the 2-in-1 guides and things like that, and I've used those in the woods, but I always wanted to get better with just the hand file, and I watch his videos religiously, and I'm like, I want to be that good at something someday,
Yeah, and hand filing is an art to itself. Once you get the tips and tricks, and Billy is really good about getting those the techniques and the tips, and just kind of the things you were like, oh, okay, like those aha moments.
Yeah,
making it easier.
He flat out said, what do you run into with hand filing that you have trouble with? And I said, I don't think I get my angles right or maintain them. He said, okay, well, show me what you're doing, and a couple of tweaks, and he said, you're doing fantastic. So,
Nice.
He's an awesome teacher. He probably missed his calling as a teacher, but
well, he's out here teaching. So
he is. He would have been the world's greatest shop teacher.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And he's got all those digits, so perfect.
That's it. I mean, how many guys have done it as long as him and still have all their fingers, all their toes, and all their other appendages?
Yeah, it's a rare occasion, I think. It's definitely a rare occasion.
Hopefully not. It shouldn't be. I think everybody's gotten a lot safer, and I don't think there's quite the stigma on being safe or being environmentally conscious or any of that like there was once upon a time. I mean, there's real men don't wear chaps. Well, I think I hope those days have long gone away.
Yeah,
so.
I think definitely on the safety side, it has definitely moved into more of the safety forward scenario, and I think it's because a lot more companies are putting it out there and making it okay. Because like you said, back then it used to be like, why are you doing that? Why are you wearing this or that? And then now it's these bigger companies are coming out with and promoting those lines of safety clothing and equipment, and so it makes sense then.
And it's I've seen the change in my just in my time. I mean, when I was a young kid, I was with my dad. We were in blue jeans, and you didn't even wear ear protection. Now I feel naked if I'm cutting without chaps or without ear protection or running equipment. It's like I'm very much more conscious of that. And again, the other thing that's neat that's coming along is that people are not afraid to think about things that are either their health or environmentally conscious, which is one of the things that really draws me to you guys' product.
Yeah, well, and speaking of, perfect segue. So DGP, Dynamic Green Products, for those of you who don't know, I don't know how you don't know at this point, but if you don't know, Dynamic Green Products, check us out on changeyourOil.com, changeyourOil.com. You can find us there. And then follow us on the socials, and also follow you on YouTube, Beavertown Outdoors. DGP, when you got a sample of it at some point along the way and you kind of tried it out, but what made you come back to it?
So I'd heard about it first through Buckin's channel, right? And so I took it and actually gave it a real thorough test, and right down to I just at that time bought a brand new Husqvarna 592 XP with a brand new bar, the whole setup, brand new. And I'd seen like Buckins claims that hey, it's easier to clean and it works better. So I said I'm going to start this saw from word go with this and nothing but it. And then I still had regular dyno oil, I guess you'd call it. The other saws in the arsenal, I was running those basically in parallel. So when I'm cutting firewood, I'll cut, basically I go from one saw to the next.
Yep.
At the end of it, each time I was cutting, one thing I was noticing is the bar on the one with the standard oil, and I didn't run just standard oil. I was running the high-end either steel or Husqvarna or the synthetic oils. The bars were hot, like with that oil. I noticed the one that was not that was run on the DGP. I could still, with my bare hands, I could still touch the bar after it came out of the log, which was amazing to me. Where I could feel heat through gloves on the other bars, with the other oil. And then I took the saws back, and I actually showed it on one of my videos. I actually took the saws right down, cleaned them, and I was still doing the scraping and the using solvent and trying to clean the sticky mess off from the old oil. This one took my air hose, blew 90% of it off, and then took a light brush and just wiped the rest of it off. It was amazing how much cleaner it was, and between being cooler, being cleaner, that was just awesome to me. So, I looked up how to order it. I didn't want to keep buying the name branded, the branded stuff, because I was like, well, maybe let's see if go right to the website. And sure enough, the website, ordering it direct from you guys was simple, and I could order by the case, and it's actually cheaper than going to buy the steel, the high-end steel, Husqvarna, any of those oils. You guys were cheaper by the gallon for gallon,
right? Yeah.
But if you bought it for a case, and it's worked out great. So there's really no reason not to do it at that point. You got the side benefit of healthier for you to be around, healthier for the environment, but it's better on the saw, and if it's the same or less money, how do you not?
Yeah, and especially with with your business that you're doing. I mean, you're going through a lot of oil.
I do. I do. Between the processor and with running 4 saws, running cord after cord of wood, I go through quite a bit.
Yeah, and so it's been, how long has it been since you started using DGP?
Oh,
roughly.
Full time using it in nothing but, I would say it's been going on 2 years now.
Okay.
So like I said, I pretty much I started halfway with it with the after the Timberman show. So that was in August of 2024, and by the end of the year, I was completely converted over to everything was DGP at that point.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and so then for people, skeptics or those who are like, I don't know, like, doesn't really matter. I just throw whatever in, for my chain oil. What would you say to those guys?
Used motor oil and everything else.
Exactly. Yeah. So what would your advice to those guys be on the reason why it should be easy for them to change?
So even if you care not one iota for the environment, which I hope there's nobody that's like that, but I'm sure there are. Even if we spend so much money, those of us in forestry, firewood, and the like, and anybody runs chainsaws. I mean, these things aren't getting any cheaper.
No, for sure.
A 500i is just a stock one, not even modified. You're talking $1,500-$1,700. So if you're a professional chainsaw, I mean, you're not getting into that for any less than probably $700. And
sure.
This day and age, every dollar counts. So why wouldn't, if nothing else, if it would protect that investment, why wouldn't you do it? Even if it costs more. But again, when it doesn't cost you any more than if you care about oil at all, it's not costing you anymore. And there's so many studies out there. There's videos. I think you guys even have links to show like real world tests of here's regular bar and chain oil, here's synthetic, here's DG versus DGP. And you get. I know there's all kinds of internet experts out there saying, "Oh yeah, you can put vegetable oil in, you use cooking oil in it, you can put use motor oil in it," and there's no way that's good for if it's not good enough to run in your engine,
Right.
for goodness sake. But they're completely different oils too, right? So like bar and chain oil is even the petroleum base, the regular petroleum base. It's a particular type of oil. It's made to stick just enough to lubricate the whole length of the bar. And when you're talking, if you're running a bar that's 14, 16 inches, okay, probably not a big thing. But when you're running 28, 32-inch bars, that oil's got to travel a long way to do its job.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's got to hold on and follow that chain all the way around. And these oils are designed to do it. You guys your oil does it better, my opinion.
Well, and I would agree with you.
I would hope you would. I mean, I hope we were not here for you to just say, well, yeah, okay, give it a shot, but, don't.
Yeah, don't try those things. Don't try those things. Well, and I appreciate that too, because you brought up, you bring up a lot of good points, which people don't think about, and something like simple as like what Scott was saying earlier. If you took a bottle of motor oil, as you were just talking about, and you dump it on the ground, you get in trouble for stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But if you put that motor oil in your saw and then spray it all over the ground, somehow you don't.
Yeah.
But it's like
the 2 and 2 doesn't add up right.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing, and so it's having this, but and then also all the side benefits. Like you mentioned, it's better for the earth, of course, and if you're not into that, then whatever. But that's a great side piece. It's not something that we go out there and that's the exact reason we do it. But it's great that that's part of it, and having that biodegradability, but also having the fact that we're helping farmers in the United States by promoting the Ohio soybean farmers.
I was just going to say it's soy based, and right now things that can use soybeans I think would be very popular.
Absolutely. So everybody's doing what they can to try and and buy local, and here you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much more local than that. Now, where are you guys based out of? You're based out of...
So the company itself is based out of Texas.
Texas? Okay.
Yes. Myself, I'm based out of North Carolina.
Perfect. Okay.
So we kind of all travel around, depending on where we're at, different regions.
Now, I know you're interviewing me, but I got to ask. You guys are from Texas. Nobody gives you any grief about you guys are ruining the oil industry.
Oh no. There's plenty to go around.
Absolutely. We can. It seems like we never get away from some kind of use for the oil you dig out of the ground. So
it'll always change slightly and go here and there.
There you go.
We're still. I mean, it's in the same package, so we're good.
There you go. No, but it's soy based. And that's. I got to believe that 10 years down the road, I mean, all these years down the road of guys running oil, different oil. I mean, they're finding out that you get cancer and it's bad for you to even inhale the exhaust from a saw. That how many loggers have developed cancer from inhaling the exhaust, and probably this oil not, but like just aerosolized oils. They're the first aid on the back of a bar and chain oil thing is about yay long. Of if you do not drink, do not touch. In fact, I think it even says if you get it on your skin, there's actually a disclaimer on there.
Yeah,
how many people have bathed in it? I'm glad you gave me another sample, Bob, because I have people I've given out samples, and believe it or not, especially like one of my biggest sample takers is my dad, who says this stuff's great. Here, refill the bottle for me. And it's like, so I've refilled the sample bottles I've given out. I think to every person I gave a sample bottle, I've refilled it out of my bulk once. So eventually you guys could, there's a website you can go to. What was it again? It's changeyouroil.com, right? Go to that website. Order your own. It's not that expensive.
Absolutely. Speaking of unshameless plugs, what's your YouTube channel again?
So my YouTube channel is Beaver Town Outdoors.
And now, what is your channel about?
So my channel, it's kind of a day in the life. I started out with. It's basically been following me from the inception of starting a firewood business and where we've grown, but also its life at what we call the Beaver Town compound.
Okay.
So we kind of run a not your off-grid type homestead, but we have some property. A couple generations live with us on the property, and just the day-to-day things of how to cut firewood. That's a big part of starting the firewood business, but also some of the just detailing life around having property in northern Michigan. And challenges of things like outdoor boilers and tractors, and I show a lot about like the tractor that I use. That's a big. My wife says that's more useful than I am, so I show about why that she thinks that. She's awesome. I try to get her on camera more, but she just she's a little shy. It's just it's mostly about just life in northern Michigan on a multi-generational homestead.
Nice. That sounds amazing. I love that idea.
I love it too, and I've got a decent following. I could use a few more. So I appreciate you letting me. I appreciate you letting me plug the channel on here. I mean, I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh no, absolutely. Well, I can't thank you enough for using our product, but also for taking the time to sit down and share your thoughts with it, because that's what helps us grow, is by people seeing other people saying yes, it does work. So
it works. I mean, you probably don't know me, but it definitely works. Give it a try. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
It's an amazing product, and I think the more people use it, the more people are going to think that, why did I ever not use it?
Absolutely. Well, John, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
it.